Ah, we got some people around? Maybe, baby. Okay, let me get that. Boy, I usually videotape us on Instagram and TikTok, but my TikTok won't let me on, and I waited too long to. Well, you don't care about that. I do. It's all about letting people know this is available. That's a big, I mean, if you have a business or you have something that you really want to get out to the people, well, it's not doing the work. I think you have to be, twice as much, I guess, inventiveness or whatever it is getting the people to know about it. Doing the work really becomes the easy part, particularly if you want to make money at it. If you don't want to make money at it, well, then that's that's different case. But if you want to make money at it and support yourself, then you really have to, the energy and time and creativity is just as important in trying to use that to let people know about it. And I really think it's easier now than ever before in America to do that. I mean, when I grew up, you needed a lot of money to start a business. First of all, businesses were mostly, stores or something like that. Everything that cost money to do. And it was structure and all kinds of things. And there was no social media. Social media is free advertising. That's what social media is. And we never had this, so much of this before in the rest of my life, in any life. And that's why when I first started even this business, well, when I was selling things, I mean, I didn't have advertising money. It was a small business, going hand to mouth. And I got to put some the chat into the Let's Go Help 2 for members. These are my answers to my top questions here, okay, that I get. And it's the most common questions. But any business you have, or any way you want to make money nowadays, I think it's easier than ever in the history of I mean, growing up in the 50s, 60s, 70s, or whatever, until the internet, you had to have a lot of marketing help. You had to have a lot of advertising help. And then when I started this business, I remember trying to do that and market and advertising. And I put little 1-inch ads, like in the Wall Street Journal, because I was doing business to business then. So I was trying to get clients that were business clients who wanted to get information and money out of Washington. And I'd put, like I say, little ads in the Wall Street Journal, because that was mostly business people. And I get nothing out of that. Nothing, absolutely not. And I was sitting there reading the Wall Street Journal one day, saying, boy, if I could get the Wall Street Journal to write me up in a column. First of all, my ad was nothing, just little, like a personal ad. So it didn't give any gravitas or anything. So you really had to want me to do that. And so that's why I think, boy, if the Wall Street Journal could write me up and tell a story about me, wow, that's more important than the ad. First of all, it costs nothing. Second of all, it's now you have the Wall Street Journal saying you're okay. So you're an ad, you don't know if the guy's a salesman or whatever, he's got shit, or he's a scam artist. It's like the internet. The internet is now, you don't know if they're good, bad, or indifferent. But if a magazine or a newsletter, that's so important in the world, could put your arm around you, and wow, that really does it. So then I said, hey, that's the way to get people to know about me, is by getting media. So before, before social media, you had regular media. You had newspapers, magazines, and television, okay? So how do you get them to write about you? That's what I start working on. And what I found out was, well, my theory was I give away the information. Okay, if you're a Fortune 500 company and you want to know about marketing, here's where to go in Washington to learn about getting free marketing studies. I remember one of my clients was Procter & Gamble, and they want to get in the pasta business. Well, I went to Washington. Well, I lived in Washington. I found market studies and pasta business experts in the government who spends a career studying the pasta industry. That's all they do. And I would go down and talk to them, talk on the phone, and get all these studies that the government spent millions and millions of dollars preparing, you know, and I'd get copies of those, and I'd give them to my clients, and I'd charge them, you know, as much as I could get, hundreds, thousands, or whatever, yeah, to get this information. But anybody could get it. If a schmuck like me from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, could walk in these offices and get this information, anybody can. I didn't know about any of this stuff, you know. And then it was the marketing. It was getting media to know about this. And so that's what I would do. I would get speeches at conferences about all the information people get for free. Call business magazines, say, let me write an article about how businesses could get money. Could get money and help from the government. Actually, I wasn't even selling money at the time. I was really selling information about marketing and things that will affect their business. Money was just a small part of everything else that's there. And that's what took my business started. And I went from me with a phone and a desk in a one-bedroom apartment. Now I'm back in a one-bedroom apartment with me and a video camera and a desk. So I've come full circle. And that's it. Oh, Michelle's on at 5 o'clock today. See, and they're the people that could really help you. Michelle's on. We have 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours a day of just members who help you one-on-one, and you can ask them a question and personally and get a personal answer to this, instead of me. And I think they're better than me because they're closer to where you are if you haven't done this before. Me, I've done this for 50 years, so it's harder to relate to somebody just starting out. And it's harder for you to relate to me talking to somebody who's done this for 50 years. Then Megan to 9 o'clock. Okay, Michelle's here at 5 o'clock, and Megan at 9 o'clock. She's the one who will fix up your credit card and credit score. That's a wonderful service, and she does it free. So make sure you're here at 9 o'clock tonight to get that free help on your credit score. The website navigator and constant daily services are great. Oh, thank you, John. I have to get ready for my Zoom. Yes, Michelle, you certainly do. So get over to makeup, get your hair done, and wardrobe. Wardrobe is still open there. They'll take care of you. For credit issues with Morgan. Megan, yes. Morgan's my son's name. I don't know why I got that mixed up. But yeah, okay, so that's what I did. Okay, so now that was business to business. So my business started taking off as soon as I started figuring out how to market for free. How do you get people to know about what you have and not spend money at it? Because I didn't have any money. Yep. And that's the key. Okay, so then I decided I want to tell not only business people about this, I want to tell people who are normal people. I didn't know about this stuff. And so in the beginning of the 80s, then I said, actually there was an agent that contacted me and said, hey, why don't you write a book? I'll try to sell a book. Oh, yeah. I flunked English in college. For me, writing a book with a publisher was like being on Mars. And the only way I get there was get on Elon Musk's mission to Mars. That was sort of me getting a book published as a New York Times bestseller. Well, the reason I was able to do that is I took a book in the government office, in the government printing office, called the Catalog of Federal Domestic Assistance, and they still publish that. It's the main book of all the programs, but just at the federal level. See, then it goes down to local level. So there's about 2,000 programs in that thing, but then it turns into 200,000. And that's where it becomes a little confusing sometimes. And they took that book of like 2,000 programs and cut and pasted it. But the only thing I added was headlines. So that's why you see me in headlines today. Man, one stop to apply to all your government benefits, okay? Now, that's what I see gets people attention. If you can't get people's attention, you can't teach them anything. I was a computer science professor. I got an MBA in computer science. Well, actually, it's an MBA, but in computers. Why is that going crazy? Oh, I see. Yeah, I think I ran out of time on that. Oh, I think post video. Okay, I forgot to put a title on. Well, what the hell? Um, so anyway, I found out if you teach anything, like as a professor, particularly computers back in the 70s, you've got to first keep people awake. So that's the key to anything in marketing is you got to keep people awake. And especially now that all the media is free. Wow, you really have to compete for media. Okay, so when my book came out, then the publisher, who gave me a small advance, they sent they sent me on a book tour, but I said, hey, I want to know how to get media. A book tour means when you go to city and talk about your book to all the radio stations and TV stations and everything. So I wanted to know how to do that, so I could sell more books, not just what. See, if you sell books with the New York Publishing time, they give you as much as they think they could sell. When I got my first book from them, they gave me a very small advance, but I wanted to sell a lot more books. So they will give me a bigger advance for the next book. See, so if I sold more books and show I could make money for them, then they'll give me more to work on my next book. So I hired a kid who was still in college. I didn't know anything about this, doing publicity and trying to get on TV shows. And so we picked two cities, small cities, Harrisburg and I think it was Richmond. And we got a listing of all the TV and radio stations there. And I just had him get on the telephone and call the TV and radio stations. I didn't call. And he was so polite and nice and cute that he just stayed on hold for 20 minutes and people put him on hold and they come back. He was still there, and he booked us up, So we went to those things and sold them. I got on TV, radio, whatever, and people bought the books in the bookstore. And wow, so my sales went up. Then it became a New York Times bestseller. And I said, "Whoa, this looks like a career here." So I did, I think about maybe 6 books in New York, and 2 became New York Times bestseller. But they were taking all the money. I was making peanuts compared to what they were making. They were giving me 10% or something like that. Wow. And also I realized that I was getting my people to the bookstore. People would see me on television and they go run into the bookstore and buy my book. So I said, well, if I did this myself, I would have to, if I did it like the New York publishers, I would have to publish, maybe 50,000, 100,000 books, distribute them to all the bookstores, and then go do TV shows and hope they'll sell. I don't have that kind of money. Where am I going to get money to not only write the books, but publish them and get them printed and in the bookstores and all that kind of stuff? Could not do that. So I said, God, I know how to get on TV and talk. Now, what I said, if I get on TV, instead of saying go to the bookstore, call this 800 number, and they call the 800 number, then I have the money before they have the book. So I could decide how many to print or whatever. And so I didn't need any money to do any of this. And I started the book, and boy, I made a hell of a lot more money without using New York. I never got on the New York Times bestseller list anymore, but I certainly made a hell of a lot more money because I got all the money. And it cost me nothing to start it. See, there's always more than one way to do something, okay? And that's it. So even now, this business I'm starting now, I don't advertise. I mean, I spend very little advertising money because I was successful at it once and think I can, but it's still, we spend next to nothing, and all by free media. You see me going on YouTube, all these platforms now, that's free media. I used to spend $100,000 or more to do a commercial. Now I get a used iPhone and I got a commercial and I got 4 or 5 places to put it, And that's why it's so much easier now to start a business, to create the income or whatever that you need. And that's what we're trying to help people do, because there's free help in the government to help you get there. You don't have to talk to me. You talk to people. And if you remember, you could see the list I set up in the chat. I think item number 4, no, not 5, college. Yeah, item number 3. It shows you how to find experts in your area that are free. So these are benefits. See, when I was helping Fortune 500 companies, I would go to these experts that I'm telling you in item number 3, get all this information for my Fortune 500 clients, and then I'd sell it to my clients. Well, they're really paying for my time, to do. They could do it. And that's what I want to do now. All this stuff that I used to go around Washington and charge a lot of money for, anybody could do this. This is a public service that the government has for anybody who lives in this country. And that's what, it just shocks me how much we have here to do. And by the way, with all the floods that's going on, make sure you get the help if you get this damage in any of these floods that are out now. Make sure that you get the help that's out there, because there's a lot of money now that's going to be thrown out. I mean, the average person who's hurt by one of these things now gets like $20,000 in money, like because you can't go to work anymore, because your house needs repaired, because you need medical help or transportation or rent because you can't move into the house anymore. So all these things that are available to people now, but you have to find out where locally they are, okay? And you have to, you go to FEMA.gov, FEMA.gov, okay, and put in your zip code to make sure that you are on the list of getting help. But even if you don't do that, you just call 211 or 311. They're going to know. They're going to know where to go if you've been affected by these floods and hurricanes. I mean, I think 60, 70 people died already about this. So, and millions of people are dislocated and all this kind of stuff, losing a lot. And it's going to take months or years to bail out of this. And this is how I learned about government programs. Our family was hit with a flood like this. And it flooded out the business, it flooded out the house, everything lost. I think my father employed about 100 people at the time. We made baby clothes, infants wear. Everybody mostly on a sewing machine, making baby clothes. And he had me working there since I was in 8th grade. Oh, I hated every minute of it. I wasn't a factory guy, at least old-time factories. And I hated every minute of it. But it certainly got me to college. And he was first generation off the boat. My grandparents came off the boat. And so I'm just second generation. And they came here to Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania to work in the coal mines. So I'm a coal miner's grandson. That's what I am. My father had a little business. And he never got a degree, neither my mother. So I'm the first generation to even get a degree. But that's what I believe in America. It's for that. It's for you, starting from nothing. I had no money to do this. I had a degree. That was it. Went in the Navy 3 years, 2 months, 9 days, came out, and then used the GI Bill to get an MBA, and started on my way. First two businesses failed, and that's what you have to do. You have to get out and fail and find sources out there that will help you. Free sources. Don't see, the only thing people know about this country is buying stuff, because they're the people that advertise. So that's what you know that's available, because somebody's selling you it and they're advertising it. So you learn about it through advertising, but it's costing money. The things that you could get for free, and it's the same thing you're buying, like consulting to start a business, you don't have to pay for any of that. Money to start a business, you don't have to borrow and be in hock for that. You could get it free. It's hot out there in Las Vegas. How's the weather? Oh, we're a little cooler today. I think about 70, 75 in Washington, D.C. Maybe $1,000 for update heating and cooling units. Yes, Henry. Okay, right now in Vegas, you can find out. Look up in the list that I put in the beginning up here under utilities. Business, college, taxes, funeral, home repair. Where's utilities? Foreclosure, debt, item number 8. Okay, look at item number 8, Henry. And that's how to find utilities. Utilities are the people that help you with heating and cooling units, okay? But again, see what's happens to those people when I give them the list and show them that, because you may have 100 programs in your area that help with something like this. What it takes from your side is start calling like every one of them. That's the only way you're going to do it. Sure, if you knew exactly which one it was, but you don't. I don't know either. Because it all depends on what your background is, where you are, and every city and county is different. So there's no overall. It's not like applying for Social Security. You know, everybody knows the rules and regulations are the same all over. They're not like that. There's 100 different organizations helping people pay their utilities. Yeah. So, but see, 100 people now, 100 organizations have a mission of helping people who have trouble with utilities, and having an updated heating and cooling system is one of them, right? So they're the people who are most likely to know what programs that you may fit into. And there's no guarantee for anything. Nobody can guarantee that. So that's what you have to do. And you do that by talking to people. You don't do it by surfing the internet and even going to those organizations, by looking at those. I guess it can't hurt to go and look to see what they say, then call them. And even if you're not eligible for their program, see, the important thing to call them is to ask them where else to go, because they're going to be in the best position to know about other programs in the area that help people like you. See, that's what you have to find out. What happens to most people, and members fall into this trap too, they'll call up, okay, you help with utilities. I call them, they said I make too much money. They call another one, they say, oh, we ran out of money. And see, I called and nobody has any. No, you just called 2 people and they don't have anything, you know. And the good stuff probably isn't even on the list. But the good stuff that's not on the list, you find out by talking to people, because they'll find stuff and they'll know of stuff that never makes any list. And the only way you do that is by going person to person. And I believe I've been doing research for 50 years or more now, and that's the way to get things. You find people that are experts in this. That's what my selling my first books on all this stuff was really showing people that, because you could find people in the government that spend their lifetime studying how people get money for utilities or whatever, and you talk to them. And even if one doesn't know it, you go to another one. And if they don't know it, then you go to another one. And there's just no shortcut. There may be shortcut, you may get lucky. But see, if I say it's easy, then you give up. And that's why, see, to sell you, I have to make you believe it's easy so you give me money, right? And then theoretically, I mean, some get it easily, but not everybody. And I want more people to get it, so I want to make sure that you know it may not be easy. Because if you think it's easy, you're going to give up. And they're the people who don't get it, or just the people who give up. So you don't want to give up. You want to keep out there and trying to get it. Now, let's go back through so members know what I put up in here in the top. I have 10 items and the links to my personal training for you getting money for these various problems, okay? If you need home repair, and actually for heating and air, that's in there too. Okay, so the number 1 is heating and air. So number 1 is home repair. So if you need help with home repair, you click on that list, watch my video, and go through the process that my video has. The next one is on funeral expenses. I know for some reason, we just got a lot of questions. People need help with funeral expenses. So I put that in there. And all these reports I just did the last few weeks. So they're really up to date, everything, and the sources are all right there for you. The next one is start a business or grow a business or nonprofit organization, invention or real estate. Okay, so it's a step-by-step of how to do that. Or paying for college, that's another one. or not to pay your back taxes. How do you like that? Or get any debt forgiven, okay? Here is a listing of all the programs Biden put up to help you get rid of your debt, no matter what kind it is. And don't forget to get in touch with Megan tonight, okay? Because she helps you with that credit card debt. Okay, stop foreclosure, okay? Another program there. So make sure you see that, you worry about it. And the one thing there that I talk about, if you're worrying about being evicted or foreclosure, you go to justshelter.org. You go to justshelter.org and click on the side, look for, I think it's called local resources, and they will have every state is listed there. You click on your state and you'll find out all the free legal help to stop you being evicted in your state. Call at least 2 or 3 of those people to make sure you know all your rights. So because the landlord will just use the law to their advantage, and you have to use the law to your advantage to compete with them. If you don't have a lawyer, you're gonna get screwed, you know? And the data I've seen shows you that if you have a lawyer, you win 75% of the time. If you don't have a lawyer, you lose 95% of the time. That's compelling data to me, okay? So don't forget that. And download those items. What were the other ones? After foreclosure, then it's, okay, then on utilities, and then on cell phone and free computers. And by the way, our free computer is on the 30th. The deadline for signing up for one of our free computers is the 30th of the month. So the 30th of every month, we have a deadline for you to apply for a free computer. You could apply every month until you get one. So apply to that. And the link is in Let's Go Help 2 there. And then we have where to go to help pay rent. Okay, and that's on the last one, and all the sources, and it's all laid out. And you have a question, then come back, go to the question corner, put in the question you have. Hey, let's go, this shit doesn't work, or whatever you want to tell us, don't worry. And then also go to attend our workshops, you know, at 5 o'clock. You could start, talk to lovely Michelle, and then at 9 o'clock tonight, Megan is for a credit card. So make sure you use the hell out of us. If you're a $1 member, you could bleed us dry in the next 5 days, so we don't have to charge you $20. And that's what you have. That's our monthly thing, okay? Is $20. So if you're on a $1 item, you get charged $20 after that. What is the number you call for the Let's Go grants? You know, you apply. All the Let's Go grants are, look on the tab, Pietro, is that his name? On the left-hand side, the grants are all described there, okay? There's 4 different grants, so you want to apply for all 4 of them. And then if you don't get one, you apply again next month. You could win each one of them, okay? You just can't win any of them twice, okay? So they're all over there. And we should have a welcome letter that you got when you signed up, and all this stuff is listed in there. Maybe a little too overwhelming. So just go to the question corner and ask, and make sure you go to the web shops, because lovely Michelle is ready to help you in about 30 minutes, see? Okay? Well, thanks for putting up with me, guys. I plan to be here for about 10, 15 more years. I hope. And I have nothing better to do. As long as somebody could use this. I mean, we're here to help each other. And everybody at Let's Go Help feels the same way, and the members do that too. So you can whether it's just a few good words or a helping hand or a source that you know of, just share with people, please. We all need help, every one of us. So be in that crowd that helps other people.